welcome back to my glorious Soviet space program. So last episode was particularly glorious. We managed to send one of our cosmonauts crashing through the sound barrier in something sort of like a giant MiG-15. Well, actually not that giant, because it's probably about, at most, the size of a MiG-15. It just was capable of carrying like 6 people. We also managed to launch up well past the atmosphere and do a suborbital recovery. So we're sitting here with one contract active, which is the 3,000 kilometer downrange milestone. Now we'll need about 6.5 kilometers per second to do this. We've unlocked some new engines. Hmm. 2 years to do this. We should be able to do this in 2 years. Because our X1 cockpit will be coming online pretty soon. So scrap that. Oh yes, I was also going to check why we were flipping out. So let's look at some transonic design here, see what's going on. Right, because FAR doesn't. Oh, that's annoying. So here's the deal. FAR thinks that this is hollow because it's not a closed volume, therefore this is hollow, which means these fins do a fat lot of nothing. See, the volume falls off real sharply right here. This has not been a problem in my previous versions of this launch vehicle because I've used the shrouded A4, which in FAR's mind is actually a convex hull. See this thing with the boat tail? But making the boat tail manually is not a convex hull. So, not real sure what to do about this. Because we kind of need this thing to be statically stable. Well, let's try this. Nope. Still nowhere near statically stable. So I really don't want to... There are no good answers here. So here's what we're going to do. After spending all that money tooling that boat tail, we're going to clip this right inside and move these down a little bit, and we should now basically be statically stable. Oh, also, for some godforsaken reason, this thing defaults to having shroud. I thought I'd defaulted RO to literally never using shrouds, but somebody must have reverted that patch. Right. Not stable. But that's okay because that's not what we're using as the top anyway. Blowfish, that's not a bad idea. Should have done that. Blowfish suggests bringing the boat tail inwards such that there's no space between it and the engine, such that Far doesn't think it's hollow. I think Far would still probably consider it hollow. Not super sure, especially if it uses colliders instead of meshes on that part, but I think it doesn't use. All right, so upgrade, and let's R&D it, and change these around. All right, we're gonna need to stretch a lot, clearly. One 1.8. 0.3. Good to know, Blowfish. Thank you. So... do we have a new RD variant? Probably we do. Yes, we do. Burn time, 1 minute 25. So we can go up to 1:30. That's interesting. I didn't... remember when I overbuilt that tank? Well, clearly I didn't overbuild it enough. What's going on here? I thought I would have more delta V than that. I'm not sure that's... I'm not sure that's enough delta V to do this. Tank 1 HP. Tank 1 HP. Set to XASR1. That's correct. That's correct. Yes, they're far, far above the center of mass. Also, I don't want them to burn off. Alright, anyone have a bright idea why my delta V is low on this? 3717. That seems super low for this thing. Yeah, the delta V is actually worse than this, because this is assuming all the HTP gets burnt. I think. Based on the conversation I was having with Mont. Yeah, because I'm more concerned. Well, first of all, this thing doesn't have any guidance, so it's immaterial. Man, what is the problem? Is it really the fact that that's considerably heavier? It's only like 30 kilograms heavier. What is the... what incarnation? Wonder if this engine is heavier. Mass, 0.888 tons. How heavy is an A4? Oh, go away, test flight. 1.06 tons. All right. Color me confused. Hey, Lamont. All right, also let's look at how stable we are. Not very. That's kind of bad. That's really quite bad. So we're going to have to give up even more. delta V. By doing that. Now we're statically stable, at least. Yeah, this is for the 3,000 kilometer downrange contract. Yeah, 40 seconds. I guess we need to overburn a little. Well, that's not helping. All right, well, let me... Oh, we don't want to do that. We want to do that. Also, I need to R&D this thing. $203, $237. This is $210, $237. Yeah. If I could move the engine down, it would move the center of mass downwards, but it would lengthen things out. So I think we're probably breaking even in terms of that. Let me quickly grab the one that I know works. Oh, it's only 6 kilometers per second, not 6.5 to get to 3,000 kilometers. That's no wonder I've been having so much trouble. And that looks like about 5 degrees. About like that, I think. Anyway, let's go ahead and make one. I'm not going to bother to tool it because we're never going to reuse these things. Well, I guess maybe I should tool this. Because that's the majority of the cost, I think. Well, not the majority of the cost, but you know what I mean. That's 2.9 meters, and that's... Yeah, I'm not going to bother to tool that stuff. It's cheap. How much are we paying? Yeah. So 45 and then 22. 67 funds all told for untooled things. So not going to bother. We'll build a couple of these. All right. I'm going to save it because I am perfectly happy to save scum a bit to get that angle right. And I'm going to rush build it a little bit because I want it done so we can go on to doing the other stuff. And we'll buy an upgrade point. And now we'll go. Oh, and let's get these people proficient. Okay. Here we go. So tooling means you've set up a manufacturing line to manufacture this stuff, rather than some engineers at Marshall Space Flight Center took out their hammers and saws and built you a custom rocket stage. That's why it's so expensive, because you're setting up manufacturing lines, but that's why everything built from those manufacturing lines builds fast. That's effectively what the entry cost of any part is it's setting up manufacturing for that part. Oh, I think I might have pitched over a little much. Well, let's see how this goes. Ready? Here we go. Yeah, it would be nice if it took time, but it doesn't take time. Man, that is a heck of a shock spike. Yeah, if you saw the last episode and you saw what I did to that plane with something that looked rather like this, it turns out that this works pretty well to pierce the shockwave. Oh, actually, the pitch looked about right. That's a fairly high max Q. Oh yeah, getting a little toasty. Ooh, nailed my pitch. Well, that sucks. Fin's burned off. Yay, steering losses. All right. We'll see. We'll see, my friends. We'll see. Oh, yes. I forgot about the fact that I have nothing to do with the tracking station. I haven't upgraded the tracking station yet. All right, let's see where we are at apogee. Oh, we're going to come just short because those stupid things burnt off. Yes, we are. That's so annoying. I think we're going to come just short, but we'll see. Yeah, we're going to come just short. Blowfish, I can't because of the ullage problems. I can't wait to stage. I got to stage immediately. We only have to make another 350 kilometers. Will we do it before we burn up? $300 kilometers? We probably won't. Lol, nope. All right, so the fins at that altitude probably shouldn't burn up, but I don't know. Like, had we been able to pitch slightly higher, which we can't do because we're unguided and we don't have a truck to. Guess I could pop us a degree or two back, but I'm just gonna turn off the max temp thing because, like, at that altitude they probably shouldn't burn out. They're just aluminum fins. Like, who cares? Now, if I get a failure this time, I'll be super pissed. Rainator, so that's the problem, is that we want to gate the tech off material science, so like it's stuff that actually burns at a higher temperature in the next tech level, rather than it just being how you shape the thing, because you can shape it however you want, whenever you want. And like certainly the Whack Corporal had fins like that in 1941 or whatever. Uh-huh, we stretched the tank so much that the fins aren't even at the back anymore. Didn't even realize that part. Okay. Oh, right, we're not even out of the atmosphere yet. Now we are. And how much higher the apogee is despite our pitch not varying at all. Just the fact that we have more horizontal yeah, we'll be fine now. Brainator, it does some, but like the point is the stuff you build from starting tech, like this launch vehicle that I just demonstrated, using the WAC Corporal and A4 versions, was flown unmodified in the way I just flew it, using like 1940s era tech. Note also that basically like I would be using those Aerobee fins, which we orphaned from the tech tree because they weren't configured correctly for FAR. But if they get configured correctly for FAR, they should be used, because you'll note like the fins I used on the booster are perfectly happy going supersonic. Like that's, yeah, it's just like you have to build heavier to resist those temperatures, and there's other stuff. So, like for example, I'd be perfectly happy if you could vary the temperature for these based on how much mass you're willing to spend on them. But there isn't code for that. All right, so we certainly passed 3,000 kilometers downrange. Boy, did we get a lot of records. Blowfish, that's not a bad idea. Technically, I should actually add LH2 to them and let the boil off sink the heat. And yes, this is most certainly RSS. Kaboom! All right, that gave us some nice money. So let's now build ourselves a little suborbital capsule. So that was successful. Now, oh yeah, every single time I forget to fix the offset center of mass on this thing. Every single time. How so, Blowfish? I mean, the last time when I used to fly my bumper Atoms, I'd have to put fins up here and some lead ballast down here, and then it's stable retrograde. But short of that, also parachutes are heavy. For cheaps, I'm not actually going to bother to add RCS because even if we enter nose first, we're still fine. I've flight verified that. What we do, however, need is an antenna. All right, it starts enabled. Good. Yeah, yeah, it involves actually putting mass at the bottom and doing various things. Yeah, I thought you meant make it stable without adding stuff to it. Yeah, you can for sure make it stable that way. I feel like we definitely need to give this thing a launch escape system of some sort. But we have very limited options. So what do we want to do? That's fine, except 2 parachutes used. Oh, and also we need to get the Kerbal. Oh, interesting. None of the Kerbals are in it, so that's fine. All right, that's tooled. All right, that's probably enough of a launch escape system. All right, so we're sacrificing some build time to actually have an escape system, but I feel like that's a decent trade-off. Are these things still tooled? Oh, did I not? Right, I didn't actually bother to tool them. Lol. All right. Now let's see what this looks like. That's stable enough. Like, not going to win any prizes, but it's stable enough. And we sure as shooting have a lot of delta V. All right. So that should be everything tooled, I believe. Yes. All right. And unlike in times past, I'm not going to bother to add RCS, as I mentioned. We don't actually need to orient for reentry, really. We can just come in nose first and have a bunch more heating, but it'll survive. The question is there any relevant science to worry about? Well, it's already 147 days to build. If I stuck one of these puppies on it, it would cost 20 days. Don't really feel it's worth it. Ah. But here's what we do need to do. Add some retros. That will add another 3 days, but is well worth it. All right, so let's build this. And we'll actually queue up a couple of them. We have a bunch of science, but no upgrade point. We can get some more science, and then we will be able to unlock that, and then we can do the... So I'm no longer worried about how much science before orbit, because you can definitely unlock enough to do the... So we would need this, and then this. So that's... So basically 10, can we get a little over 10 more science points? And I think the answer to that is yes. So you can go straight, you can skip all the early orbit crap and go straight to an R7 without hitting orbit. I don't think we're going to do that. We're going to go to orbit on an RD-103M or an RD-103. But Blowfish, I entirely agree. It would be super nice to have something that's actually pod-shaped. And if we were on... Well, yeah, it like somebody must have made a sufficiently Kerbalized version of Vostok that we could use that as an early suborbital pod, while still leaving regular Vostok as Vostok. Anywho, let's go ahead and Add an alarm. So we'll get tank 2 quite soon. Oh no, sorry, we'll get tank 2 over here. That's right. We can, oh yes, we have a bunch of upgrades we can invest now. All right. So once it's fairly close to launch, we'll take X-plane high. All right, let's set up some mission training. Oh, I never set up the abort group. Oh dear. Blowfish, it's 50% off, if memory serves. I mean, it's whatever you set cost reducer to in the file, but it's 50% off. It's my memory. Abort involves shut down, decouple top node, activate the retros, activate the engines, arm the parachutes, and then there. Yeah, which is why I made that 1.8 meters. All right, and let's just save these changes to disk. Duplicate it again. Warp to complete. Have another save. All right, early tracking station unlocks. It's 75K to upgrade it though, so we're not going to do that until we are ready for first orbit. All right, let's go to space. Oh, heh! Almost forgot. X-plane's high. You might as well double down. 65 km. It's going to be Marta again. Our first trip above 15 kilometers. Okay. Whoop. Staging fail. That was interesting. Okay, and we'll go up to like 160 kilometers. We'll do a nice gentle flight the first time. And spin up a little bit just in case. Crew report. Upper atmosphere versus shores. Hopefully I got the angles right, so we'll get a bunch of science. Hey, Pap. If I got the angles right, we'll get shores in water. We'll probably get space water, because I probably went over a little too steep. But we're going to fly enough of these missions that it really doesn't matter. Oh, I clicked it like a microsecond too late, because first you saw how it first went to shores. Shoot. Oh, I forgot to disconnect from the thing. Now I've disconnected from the thing. What are we trying to prevent, Blowfish? Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. As I've always said, if you can give me a different capsule that would serve this purpose, let's do that, and we can deal with this. But until that time, we need something that you can do early suborbitals on. Crazy spinny. And now we're going to tip first. This is going to be fun. What's going on here? I chose applied all symmetry counterparts, I thought. So why are we... Real shoot is weird. Sometimes it's buggy. Okay, survived suborbital flight. 0.3 science. We get monies. Marta is super happy. Marta's not retiring until 1962. We get a lot of money. We complete a lot of things. Pass the Kármán line crude, X-planes high. Crude altitude record. Bunch of them. Speed records. All right. So that went super well. I'm going to lose a few days progress and scrap that and fix the real shoot issue. Oh no, that's why. Because I took them off and put them back on again, and because I don't know why, that clearly screwed them up. I think this was the correct one. Oh, except I have to take everything off, don't I? Right. Let's try again. Okay. No! What just happened? There. That's better. And we can fix staging, too. All right. Okay. So we've successfully proved the MR3M, which sends a brave Red Air Force pilot into space. And back again, we trust. We got plenty more science where that came from. Let's look at that, and then we have to get those. And then we are set for lucky number 7, the Smyorka. Oh, that's a lot of money. Fast is that going? Yes, it'll take almost a year to unlock Tank 2. Interesting. All right. So I think at this point, I should call it quits. So thank you, everybody. And I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.